I don't know where Falloon is. He must be busy.
Oh, I'm getting a phone call. Hold on.
All right.
Anyway, it's 7.
What's 7?
The answer to his question.
What was his question?
I haven't heard it yet.
You're so crazy. Too
It should
funny.
be 42.
Oh yeah, it is 42. That's right. Where's Phil?
I don't know. I don't know. I'll poke him on Discord. I messaged him in our main chat. I mean, I put it out there at here, so I don't know.
So it was a good thing that you had told us to make all of those arrows. That was the first thing that City and I were doing.
That's
when
what
I got
I'm
on.
saying, man. Because that's.
And then
my
we had them
first
used
thought.
for the Rex.
Thank God. I'm glad you guys did that. That's how I felt. I was shitting myself. Like, Cricket logged in. Like, it was like Luminin logged out. He's like, hey, Esme, got a Bronto down up there. It should be okay. Just keep an eye on it. So I just put whatever spikes I had around it. Because it's kind of weird how the Bronto's like hovering above the ground. So I'm like, I'm really kind of unsure about where to put these spikes because it's not actually ever touching the ground. Like, it's not even touching the ground. So I put them down where I could. I came back down, and he said, you know, there's a lot of Argents over there. We should probably start working on a barn thing. I'm like, yeah, that's what I was thinking. So we just thought we'd add it to the chicken coop. So I started making a barn out of thatch to get it down. And I got a roof on, and I got some walls, and then Luminin logs out to go to work. Cricket logs in. It was like simultaneously. And then all of a sudden, this freaking Argent, like, I thought it was a player because it flew right to our base and landed in the middle of our base. And I'm like, that's never happened. Like, what? Then it, like, looked at us and charged, and it went right for me and the dinos, and I had the dinos out of sight, like, around the corner of the chicken coop, and that sucker went right in. Our dinos were tearing at it, and then the pterodon went off to fight it, and it never seen it again, so I don't know where that went. And then Cricket's like, what's going on? I'm like, no.
That's what I see. Help! I'm like,
Help!
What? It's like there's Argents around and there's Itchies and
Yeah, then the Itchy started attacking him while it was crazy chaos. So it sounds like you guys had the same excitement, but with the Rex.
Well, so the Rex wasn't actually attacking us. We were, we were both kind of up the hill, gathering, flint and all that. And I turn around and look towards the base, and I see, looking down towards the base from the hill, I see off to the right a Rex, like down there near the shore. I'm like, I hope that's a player, because that's real close to our base. And I was, smacking some stuff, so I couldn't pull out my scope at the time. And so he's like, no, that's a 140 female. I'm like, oh, crap. We got to figure out some way to get rid of that thing, because it's going to eventually come over and attack, bite our base.
Right.
Or, just mess with us as we're trying to do stuff. So then I was like, well, let me go down here, get on the boat. And at first I was just going to do it from the boat. And I was like, no, City, come down here. You drive the boat, and I'll shoot it, and then we'll drag it out to the water and drown it. I guess they must have put some new things in, some new mechanics in, so they won't do that anymore. Because I would shoot it would come chasing after me, but the moment I jumped onto the boat, it would just lose interest and turn around.
Oh, wow.
And so then it would start biting our pillars we had down there. And so eventually I was just like, what? I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna shoot, keep shooting it,
right,
trying to get its attention. And then I was like, it's starting to look bloody. Let me go up and grab all the arrows that we just crafted, and let's just kill this damn thing.
Awesome.
So then, I went up, grabbed the extra crossbow. So I had 2 of them. City had 1. I grabbed a bunch of arrows, and so we're just sitting there on 2 of the boats, just shooting it. And,
but you forgot to let her know that we both died probably 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, that's true. We did die, but who's eating who?
Yeah. That's just par for the course, right? It was super exciting today over there because Luminin was running all around trying to aggro the sabers that was getting a little too close for comfort to the Bronto. And then he was like, okay, we're good. And then I went up to check on the Bronto, and then that's when I noticed that
hello, beautiful people.
Ooh, look
Ooh,
at you.
You sound good.
You sound good.
So crisp.
Yeah, you
Really?
sound good.
Seriously. I feel like I need one of those.
Nice intro, too.
Right?
I'll work on my radio voice.
All right, I'm going to hit the intro. 1, 2, ready, go.
I'm wearing my birthday suit, and I got a luscious blonde wig on.
Oh shit, I'm eating freaking narco berries now. I am not doing myself any favor.
Might have bit off more than I can chew here.
There's a bad one in this bunch. You guys want me to teach you about mushrooms?
I am so close to death. I've got a broken leg.
The only way that you survive is by being smarter than some of the other people.
What the heck? What is digging holes in the ground? It's digging holes in the ground.
Fresh spawns, veteran tamers, and all survivors in between. We'd like to welcome you to Rated Ark, the Ark Survival Evolved podcast.
By the way, this is explicit.
Welcome, survivors, new and old, to episode 2 of Rated Ark, the Ark Survival Evolved podcast. Today is March 8th, 2018. We are CRR Gaming Group hosted podcast, so that means the voices can change each week, but the roundtable discussion will always be about Ark. We have many ways you can contact us to share feedback, tips, or adventures. You can reach the show by emailing ratedark@gmail.com. You can tweet the show at ratedark on Twitter. You can grab our RSS feed, get our show notes, and apply to join us in-game at www.crossrealmrebellion.com. So first, we'd like to start the show off by introducing everyone here tonight, and you guys can go ahead and introduce yourselves.
I'm Esmeralda Sky.
Series 4 deatomizer.
That's what I'm talking about.
Noisy cricket.
That's Cricket. Foe is on his new microphone this evening.
Hello, everybody. It's me, Forenda.
Maybe he can be our new Midnight Lady too.
Exactly.
Coming at
He's
you
midnight.
with the silk tones.
He's Midnight Bro.
Voice.
All right, we have Mr. City.
Oh yeah, I'm here, and we jumped over Goon. Sorry, Goon.
That's okay. She gets me all the time.
Maybe I should introduce
the bus
people
for last. Jeez.
Anyway.
Hey, Goon. Say hello to the listeners.
Hello. How was you guys doing tonight? You ready for a good show?
Absolutely.
I am, and I am Willektron.
Willektron.
I'm ready for something.
We're waiting to see if Fell's gonna come and join us. He's MIA right now, so he might be dropping in later throughout the show. We need our falloon. All right, we're gonna get started with some loot drop.
I think City was going to read off his hours
City.
again, though.
City, you had you wanted to change your hours, right? Because
yeah, I just wanted to make a note that my hours are around 3,000 or so. Let's see, with 3,800, 2,300 of those are logging in and out, not necessarily playing the game. So actually, I've only been playing about 1,500 hours.
Falling asleep in the chair for 2,000 hours?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
waiting to log in, right? On the
doing chores, vacuuming, doing windows, that kind of stuff.
Wow, that's a lot of work.
Especially after starting to play this primitive plus.
Exactly.
Oh, I know, it's forever.
It's crazy. All right, we're gonna get started with some loot drop.
Don't let it all out. These are the shoutouts we can't live without. Oh yeah, come on, yeah. Radar's talking to you, you're talking to us. Yeah, time for shoutouts.
It's gonna take me a while to get over that.
I'm making that my ringtone. That's gonna be my ringtone.
Chair dancing to Bobber while Juan's playing. All right, want to give some shout out, Rated Ark love to some of our followers and listeners on Twitter for retweeting the show when we post it each week and just chatting with us on and off and saying hey. Mr. at Sean D. Knight and at Chuck1214. Do you guys remember Chucks? Remember Chucks? He was one of our
Chucks.
Yeah, he's one of our console correspondents. He wanted to check in. It's like, hey guys, where you been? So, Diastalis, I always say that wrong. Diastalis, Full Metal Agent, Pathan, Merkin Zombie, and our very own Yogi Bear. So I wanted to say, hey guys, we love you. Keep up the good work.
Yogi Bear and Full Metal Agent, they both owe me.
Yeah, they owe all of us. Where they been?
I know. They owe me something.
We need some sugar. Come on.
I don't want to say what it is, but
Okay.
they know
All right.
what it is.
Well, here's some fresh from the forge.
Fresh from the forge.
I have to wonder, Esme, does anyone look at you weird when you're in your house and you're recording these things?
I make sure that I'm in the quiet basement in the corner where nobody knows.
Okay.
Could you imagine? No.
The two kids staring up at her, eyes huge.
What the hell is Mama doing over there?
I want to see a webcam point of view when you're making the segments.
Yeah.
Yes, please do that sometime.
I get into the role. What can I say? Okay, we're gonna get started with some tweets from @survivetheark.com. They want you to submit your Ark builds, which you'll find out more later from Mr. Foe, videos and Ansel screenshots so you can win prizes and be featured in the next Community Crunch. They release those on Mondays, and the link to that is in the show notes, and you can find it at survivetheark.com. And there's another tweet from @survivetheark. Tomorrow is the final day for certain legacy servers, the Great Migration 2, we talked about last week. Bye-bye. Where's your Happy Trail song? That's the song they need.
By the way, we're going to make these things called legacy servers, so don't worry. They're not going anywhere. As a matter of fact, they are going somewhere. So say goodbye to the legacy servers that was supposed to be legacy.
Exactly. What is that?
I don't know what that's all about. I would be very upset
False
if,
advertising.
I moved from one legacy server to another and then they're going to shut that one down. I'll be like, oh my God.
If I had to play devil's advocate, though, we don't know if these servers are just dead and wasting space, because as a server admin, you kind of don't want to sit there and keep paying for a server like nobody's playing on. So I can kind of see, like, if they're dead and nobody's logging in, then they're just kind of like, hey, just want to let you guys know this is going to be gone. But if there's still, like, active players there, that's really shitty.
I picture these servers being like a barren wasteland, and there's that one player that's that is just hawking pillars. He's just looking for pillars. He's like, oh my God, I can now build here. And he's like taking pillars down and putting his own back up. And he's just switching pillars around 24/7. Like, that's what I picture.
I picture this. It's some person at work, they had a really bad day, and every time something crappy happens to them, they make a check on a little notepad, and when they get home, for every check they have, they put up 10 more pillars. They're like, yeah, I'm going to go home and put up 10 pillars.
Instead of cutting themselves, they put pillars up on, like,
oh gosh,
unpopulated servers.
Yeah, I guess.
So what were
saying.
these legacy servers? I'm a little bit out of the loop on that.
Go ahead, Phil. He wants to know a little bit more about the legacy servers.
Oh, a legacy server is basically servers that were not taken down with the new servers. So, like, a while back, they took down a whole bunch of servers to move everybody over to the new stuff, and they kept a couple that were more popular, I would guess.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing those servers are now becoming less popular, so everybody's just going over to the new stuff.
And did they lock down the legacy servers so they were not cross server? It wasn't part of the
They weren't cross. Yeah, you couldn't cross. You couldn't go. Legacy servers were like their own thing. You had to just kind of hang out on that legacy server. And like now, I guess they're all going to go now. And like you were saying, if nobody's logging in, I'm sure they have the info. If nobody's logging in, why are you going to keep these servers open, just taking up space for no reason?
Yeah, we'll have to do a little bit of digging. I'll check around and see if anybody is saying anything about it on the forums or something to get a little bit of feedback from that side. But I guess I was.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just curious what the features were, how the features on there were different from what the current servers are, if any, or if it was just older servers somehow.
Well, no, all the features are the same. It's just that they never shut those down. So it has, there are people there probably from like the first day or something. I'm sure like server number 1 is like one of the ones that's like open still.
Gotcha.
Oh,
Thanks.
that City is Happy Trail weird music we hear in the background.
Just a little,
He's letting them know. Happy trails, guys.
I couldn't understand it for a second, but then it made sense. Yes, Happy Trails, City says. Happy Trails. If I just Googled it, just to put it, I guess, in their own terms, or I guess on the forums, they were saying, like, legacy servers are before the full release of Ark. So it's like all the older servers, and then when they did the full release, like Fo was saying, that's where you have a lot of the connected servers, the officials. So, in essence, they're just, which is the whole thing that we were talking about last season, was we were like, how are they going to do this? Because you had all the people doing cross-server stuff, and the legacy, the original servers were so bogged down and so glitchy and so laggy because they had like gazillions and gazillions of dinosaurs on them.
Dinos and pillars and electrical wires floating everywhere.
So we're like, how can they release this game and invite in all these new players on servers that they're pretty much full ever for like 2 years worth of people? Like, no new players are gonna just want to roll into this game and be like I can't even move, I can't build anywhere, like what's up with this? So then in essence, they're doing what Foe and everybody else, we all kind of pointed out, that they're just letting them die on the vine. You know, they made them so that they don't get the cross servers. So all these new maps are coming out, Ragnarok and Aberration, and then more in the future, and they're not letting you go. So you either have to be a diehard island lover, or you're gonna go and leave that server and go play somewhere else where you can cross server and check out new stuff. So they pretty much are letting these legacies die on the vine, in my opinion, and now they're just kind of announcing for the next time these are pack up and move out because they're shutting them down tomorrow. That's March 9th, 2018. So does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
All right. And we also have a tweet from a PS4 player and one of our listeners, Johnny Wrench, on Twitter, and just said, yes, PS4. I asked if anybody had anything they wanted to add to our show tonight, and he said, yes, PS4 is hopefully getting the HDR support on the Pro with the next update. So that will be cool. And
now, one more thing about the legacy servers. I'm just hoping that at least one of these servers are just cool enough that right now they are just having all-out warfare until it gets shut down. Like, I hope that one of these, like, that's what's happening right now, because that would make my night. You know, because if you know everything's going anyway, it's might as well just, like, go out with a bang, get all those dinos, and just start having to just everybody meet in the center and just rip each other up. Like, that would be super cool.
That would be cool. That really would. Kind of like how they should just release the bush people on the legacy server.
Just put bush people, like world bosses, just start dropping them from the sky. There's world bosses coming down. That would be so funny.
Do that? Oh my god.
That'd be great.
Wild card.
Or they could make it like the survival and just have the world get smaller and smaller until they all meet there.
Like a drain right in the middle of the server.
Oh, that'd be great. Take notes, wild card. Take notes.
Yeah, man, take note. You could have had fun with this legacy server.
I know. If you're gonna close it off right.
Right on, because that's how we do it. Whenever we close a server, we just let all hell break loose. Like
everything's auto tame, old dinos. You just gotta walk up to it and punch it, and it's yours. You know.
Then of course there's the NPCs. What is it that we always add when we want to crash a server? Literally.
The bush people.
Yes, the bush people.
Mod. Yes. Yep. That is.
And then you get that one dude who's like, know what? I'm not going to ruin everybody's night. I'm going to take a Bronto and put 15 grinders on this thing and turn them all on and just walk into the center of everything and crash everybody.
We're giving you guys all kinds of ideas.
Maybe they'll push it back one day.
Right on. Okay, well, Falloon had something here he was going to talk about the PS4 and stuff like that. So we'll save that for the next episode or later on for last call if he makes it in time. And we will be moving on. Will, I think you have some information about a dev kit?
That I do. So a new Ark dev kit is out, and I will open up this link real quick so I can read about it. Basically, so for the update that they released for version 278, they have released the Ark dev kit and posted it to the Google Drive. So basically it includes all the TLC Phase 1 content and functionality, as well as the mods and Ragnarok map. So looks like we might be able to get some pretty cool mods with the new content in, if all goes well. So pretty short piece of news, but basically everything they put in the last update is now available for modding.
Awesome.
And the link, if you're interested, is in the show notes.
Do they have Aberration stuff available for modding yet? I can't remember.
I don't think... I'm not sure. I haven't been keeping... Oh, yes. Actually, the previous version of the dev kit that was released on February 10th included the Aberration content.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Good
they
to know.
said that it's now on Google Drive. Not that it really matters, but has it always been on Google Drive, or is that a new thing as well?
I think I'm not sure, but what's happening is that they uploaded it to Google Drive and you paste it over the top of your Ark Dev Kit installation from the Epic launcher. So maybe this is just a way that you don't have to wait until it gets pushed to Epic Games servers in order to get access to the kit.
Yeah, okay. I know what I'm talking about.
But that's a great question.
Absolutely, yeah, it really is. I agree. Because I sat, my ears perked up. I'm like, yeah, because I never mess around with the dev kit. I've never tried to make a mod or anything like that. So I've had a couple ideas in my head, but I just don't have the time.
I wish I had that skill to make a mod.
I know.
I would love
really
that.
Do.
Yeah, me too.
We can learn it. It can be learned. Just have to have the time.
I'm too busy playing games.
Just below that.
I know, me too.
Isn't that part of one of the other announcements with the new mod community manager? Doesn't he have
Yes, well, that's later on, but
yeah.
We have the PC patch notes. Just want to let everybody know, I did check for Xbox and PS4. They have the same patch notes as last week that were released on March 27th, 2018. But the PC does have new patch notes. We're in the current version 278.64. They have disabled placement of structures when recently stuck in geometry addresses known under mesh exploits. Fixed climbing off of a ladder into geometry, including barriers, temporarily addresses known under mesh exploits. Well, it says, okay, they have it spaced. Fixed climbing off a ladder in geometry temporarily, and that means it also includes barriers, and it was addressing under the known under mesh exploits. Prevented closing glider for a brief period after opening. Prevents accidental closure when spamming to open. And get this, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, I think I have a drum roll somewhere, maybe. I thought I did. Anyways, it's in it. They have lowered the glider cooldown to 3 seconds from 10 seconds.
Why do they even need a cooldown?
I don't know.
It's an improvement, but why do they even need a cooldown?
Because of people using it to jank around bases and stuff for PvP.
Yeah, it was, remember the PvP discussion last week?
I know.
But this is better than 10 seconds. This 3, Definitely. They gave us more than half. They met us they went over halfway and met us there. So, woo-hoo. I mean, for us that are on unofficials or spend most of our time on unofficials, we can just put that mod on I shared last week. But, I mean, this is big for official players. So, let's hope that it calls, it fixes the problem and they don't have to put it back to 10 seconds. So I was excited. I was like, oh. And then upcoming version 279 is the TLC Phase 2. They're going to be fixing many bug fixes and quality life improvements and miscellaneous features, and that will be announced. And also 6 more dinos will be updated, refactored, and reworked. And the link to those are in the show notes. I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Foe.
Okay. Survivors Firespark 81 and GG Fizz are currently hosting a building contest for fellow PC survivors. They are doing both vanilla and a modded contest. So if you are an architect and you're interested in competition, check out the video above. We have a link in our show notes. So if you listen to the show, there is a way you can look at our show notes. Just click on the link we have there and you can check this out. And they also have a list of all the rules, all the sign up info, and all that jazz. You could go to www.sites.google.com/view/buildconrules/, and that should get you the rules and the info that you need. And you could also sign up through a link we also have within our show notes.
You mean you're not going to read that one?
No, because it's like 12 lines long.
No,
yeah, I don't blame you for that one.
It's in the show notes.
And codes and squiggly lines and weird noises.
Yes. Speaking of weird noises.
I hope that. Oh, sorry.
No, I was going to segue over to cricket, but go ahead.
Thanks.
I was going to say, you remember that guy who used to play with this Kit something? Man, he was a good builder. I think he should enter this.
Oh,
I think, yeah. Cole?
Was it Cole? I don't know anybody named Kit.
Well, his Discord name was Kit something. Gosh, I can't remember.
I can't remember.
Wait, is it someone who's still active? Is it like Kirkanos, maybe?
Yeah, that's him.
Oh,
Okay.
Kirkanos, yeah, he's really good builder.
Yes, we should definitely do. I mean, that's my thing too. I love building, so I'm actually going to take a look at this also. But I think this is super fun. I really hope a lot of people enter because this looks awesome.
Have a CRR representative there, huh?
It should be. There should be for sure.
Actually, I wonder if we're allowed to show old photos because I have a ton of photos in my Steam that I might be able to enter.
Wait,
Well,
no,
now that
there
you have
is
your
there
new
is a link
webcam.
to some contest rules that you can read.
Yeah.
I did say that like
You
12
did.
times within this paragraph. Maybe I should
Exactly.
look at them.
Maybe you should look at them while Cricket reads. Your turn, Cricket.
So we have, was this a post that we were pulled this from?
This is a post off from survivedark.com.
From Jat, or Jathish, I guess it's pronounced, from yesterday, March 7th at 8:35 p.m. Not sure what time zone that is, whether it's UTC or something else. But it says, Aberration item transfers and fertilized eggs, official servers. On a PC patch earlier today, item transfers were enabled on Aberration. This has been a topic of discussion for the community and the development team for quite some time. We had come to the conclusion that item transfers onto Aberration will be permitted on our official network. One of our team goals for this year has been working on improvements to the development pipelines to ensure things run smoother going forward. Unfortunately, our enthusiasm got the best of us, and this change accidentally slipped through the cracks too soon. We apologize for that. Additionally, an unintended mechanic existed which allowed players to bring over fertilized eggs which were not native to the Aberration map. We have redeployed a change which will prevent this in the future by automatically deleting any non-native fertilized eggs which are brought over, as well as destroy any non-native creatures / fertilized eggs that currently exist on Aberration. We understand that this news will come as a disappointment to some, but know that we examined all available options and ultimately decided that this would be the best step to take. Our sincerest apologies for any inconvenience or loss suffered from this change. To be clear, any fertilized eggs which are not native to Aberration will be deleted upon transfer, so please do not attempt to transfer your non-native fertilized eggs to Aberration, and the item transferring will remain active. We will be redeploying our official PC servers with version 278.66, which will have these changes. Our scheduled deployment is set for 15 minutes from now at 2040 EST.
Ooh.
Good work, guys. I like
Good work.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's one of those things that they didn't allow you to bring the dinos in, so
Right.
obviously they didn't want you to have the dinos in there.
Right.
Why do people got to screw it up and get the work and do the work?
Because people will always do. They'll always be something like, "Oh, we can't bring a dino in, but let's try the egg." Ooh.
Exactly. It drives me crazy when people try to do those loopholes. It's like play the game.
It's like
if you're gonna play
Maybe
the
they
game
thought
as
it was
they wanted
okay.
to.
It's like
They're
the
like,
snow
oh.
cave. I mean, I had a official server where we had eggs that we brought into the snow cave and we hatched them so we could
Right.
farm the snow cave. I mean, kind of the same thing. They didn't want you to have a dino in there. That's why they made the entrance so they couldn't fit. But, people get crafty and they put the eggs in their pocket, crawl under, and they hatch them inside.
All this really tells me, though, is they need a devious person working for them when they code this stuff because, I mean, logically, like you said, it's just human nature it's nature. It's just human nature for you to think, this is what I want. How am I going to make it happen? And people are like, I want dinosaurs on Aberration that aren't supposed to be there. So then when they went to make it happen and it worked, you can't really blame them. Be like, well, it worked. They honestly, that to me seems like an error in the whole development process.
I mean,
I would have assumed that would be you would think that somebody would try that. So you would think about making sure that wasn't possible before you launched Aberration, in my opinion.
I mean, yeah, I would think they would.
I mean,
they would block this
obvious.
stuff down, but it still drives me crazy when people are like, oh, this is an unintended workaround. I'm going to take advantage of this and exploit it.
Yeah.
But then again, I mean, it's officials,
yeah.
and like I said, this is only on officials. On unofficials, do what you want, whatever rules you want. You want to have everything in there, you have it in there. But on officials, you should play it how they are deeming that you should play it. Otherwise, you don't play on official.
And I can see that point. I'm just thinking, like, for the love of God, bake the stuff then check it again, and then check it again, and make sure that all the cracks are sealed, and then release it. Don't release it with freaking cracks that anybody, like, because that seems so basic. Like Fo said, when we wanted to get into the ice cave, we just brought our stuff in because our dinosaurs couldn't fit through the hole. So we just brought our stuff in and made it happen. We just grew him inside of the cave. You know what I mean? So
right.
It's like, if they thought they need somebody, you know, like I said, devious, but maybe a little bit more creative or really good at finding loopholes. They need that kind of an aspect on their team, because that would have never made it out of the gate if they had somebody thinking like that. You know what I mean? So it just shows me that there are a lot of innocent people that really don't think about, and it might be because they're not playing the game, maybe. You know, maybe they're not playing the game, so they don't even think about coming up against these things. Because
I'll
it
bet
never
you
occurs to them.
this new community team mod manager is going to be handling that.
You think so? Because that's just for mods. But, yeah.
I don't know.
Mods are non-official, but hey. Are you saying we should hand the mic over to Goon? Is that what you're saying?
Well, maybe.
All right. Goon, take it away. Maybe not. Oh, there he is. Okay.
Man, give me a second. Jeez.
No, I'm fat, man. You gotta be on that mic. You gotta be sitting on it. You gotta be ready.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I'm kidding.
All right.
Take it away.
This is from the new Zen Rowe, who's the Wildcard Community Team Mod Community Manager. He wrote a little letter. So let's see what this letter has to say. It says, hello, everyone. Well, I'll need to introduce myself. My name is Josh. Some of you may know me as Zen Rowe. I've been part of a modding community for over 2 years now and have been heavily involved with Discord especially. I have had the pleasure of helping new people in the community learn how to use Ark Dev Kit, watch them build out their ideas for mods, just as some did for me when I started out. Now, for the last several months, I have been sponsored for one of my projects, Ark Frame, which focused on enhancing the mods made by others and supporting interactions between mods. Today, I'm excited to become your new mod community manager. My objective is to bring more consistent communication with the community and help mod authors build the quality of their projects even further. I will also be leading a sponsored modding team and providing support for their projects. We've already had some changes planned for the mod community and that will be coming soon. Every other week, as part of the Community Crunch, I will be doing a mod spotlight and giving tips, tutorials, and best practices. Now, we are also going to start hosting a mod tutorial contest every other week. As a community, I believe we can embolden and encourage each other to make Ark even better. I will be an active presence in the multiple areas of modding community. The UE4 forums, Discord, Steam forums. I look forward to working with you all, and for the first bit of exciting news, let's begin with a modding tutorial contest. The goal of this contest is to encourage mod authors to share knowledge and increase the skill level and understanding of mod authors that are new or trying to acquire new skills. We have this posted in our show notes if you want to read this tutorial contest.
Awesome. So what do you guys think about that? I think it's cool. I personally think it's cool that they have an actual person doing the mod community management now, because from what I witnessed in the past, it was kind of thrown at Cedric. It was said on Twitter, Complex Minded. It was kind of tossed at him when they started doing a lot of this mod sponsorship things through Wildcard. And then he's also, ironically, the one who developed Primitive Plus. And it's almost like he hasn't got to do a darn thing with Primitive Plus, because they immediately tossed all this mod sponsorship on him. I think it's really cool that they're bringing in this Zen Rowe to kind of take the weight over, because it has gotten to be so large and so big that maybe this is a cool thing, you know? That maybe Primitive Plus can get the love it so desperately needs from its original creator, Complex Minded, who this kind of was tossed at last year. So
I love how happy he sounds in this letter being the new manager. I wonder what he's going to be like in like 3 months. What are you people doing? Leave me alone.
I think I'll have it covered. I have faith in this dude.
Yeah.
So I think I agree. I think it'll be, either way, I don't see how it's going to hurt us, but you never know.
I just know that whenever they do a mod contest, there's always a bunch of new cool mods that always come out. So you might say some really cool stuff come out of this, which would be really awesome.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Stick around with us for several more podcasts, and you'll find out how he's handling his new job.
Okay, Mr. Will. We have, you're going to be telling us about some Dino TLC that they shared on this latest Community Crunch.
All right, so they teased the Triceratops here in their last update, so I'm just going to go ahead and read what they posted about that. The Triceratops, one of our oldest friends and earliest creatures implemented into the game, will be receiving both a gameplay update and a visual update, including facial changes, plus a reskin. Generally, in terms of gameplay, we felt that the trike was in a relatively good place in regards to how much benefit it provided versus how difficult it was to obtain. As an early game herbivore, we didn't want to do a complete redesign. However, it was clear to us that there were some very obvious changes we needed to make. First of all, the Triceratops will receive the ability to perform a charge and ram attack. It has a short wind-up time to notify that the trike is preparing to charge. The attack will build speed and damage during the wind-up, which then transfers to increased damage and ends in a ram attack, which will knock targets back and can leave them stunned for a short period of time. Additionally, its herding instincts will be improved, resulting in 2 changes. A quote-unquote rivalry buff, which will be applied to all nearby ally Triceratops when in range of large theropods and carnivores, that will increase their stats and damage akin to mate boost. It will also increase the wild Triceratops aggro notify range by twice, so that other trikes are more likely to come to its aid.
You know, while you're reading this, I'm thinking, gosh, these Dino TLC changes are going to be so much fun on PvP servers. Could you imagine, like, with the stun with the trike, you know, like, it's going to ram the target and stun them for a little bit? Like, stuns are great in PvP. So they might have a really awesome purpose now.
So the things that I've been thinking about, you know, reading some of this stuff is, you know, first off, I'm thinking, oh, you know, this is cool. You know, that they needed a buff because, you know, people weren't using this, you know, this dino or that dino, you know, because they added new ones that, of course, they had to be bigger and better. People wouldn't grab the new dinos. But yeah, as a tame, that's nice. But like, are they going to? Assuming they're going to get these same buffs as a wild, so they're going to make them that much more deadly.
Yeah, they'd be harder to tame. You know what? I love these changes because, you know, the trike was always one of my favorite first dinos. I think I said this a bunch of times in the past. The trike is always like the first or second thing that I usually tame. I usually look for like a low-level trike because once you have a trike, life becomes so much easier when you're at the lower levels. You get a ton of berries. They could fight for you. They're just fantastic to have. And they're not hard to tame, but now it looks like they might be a little bit harder since they're going to be getting friends to help them out with this, the aggro range notification thing. So we'll see. I love the trike, so I'm happy to see it get a cool boost.
Me too.
Yeah, it just makes it that much more important to make sure if you're going to try to tame one that you isolate it first.
And I kind of feel like that was always a thing, though. Like, didn't they normally aggro if you hit one trike? Because I've always played that way. Yeah.
I think
they just
all dinos do that.
Boosted. If it's like a bunch of males sitting around, the bros won't help each other.
Oh, okay. So there is that. So do you think? It's always been like, even when I started playing Ark, like way back, like a couple of years, like right shortly after release, like I remember people telling me, don't, you know, that was one of the first things I figured out real quick was don't shoot a trike when it's near others because they all kind of would aggro me. So
now trikes that are twice as far away from it.
Exactly.
Okay, so
you might not even see
they
one.
Increase the range. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
okay,
and it's going to build
I'm missing the increase aspect of it. Okay.
You know what's crazy about that? It's a double
just the
thing.
Same but more.
Because they're far away, you might not see it, and as it's running, it's building up that charge to smack you clear across the map on your ass
like the
when it arrives.
The little rat on Aberration. They have like that angry, pissed off memory that when you steal their gems and you run away thinking, tra-la-la, I'm free, and then this freaking roll rat or whatever comes up and knocks you, and you done forgot you stole the gem. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that. Like they're just going to come out of nowhere.
They will never forget about the
They will never forget.
I like how they did like the bear, because the bear, the longer it runs, the faster it goes.
Yes.
So they're doing that with the Triceratops now. So.
Well, the rhino kind of like already had this attack, so it makes sense that the trike would also get it.
Yeah, I agree.
Anything with horns that would ram stuff should have this attack.
Yeah, unicorns too.
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
Yeah, so that one person who has it could like do a ram attack with it.
That one person. It'd be like, stand right there. I'm going to ram you. Just don't move. That'll be, interesting. Okay, I think it's time for our Dino Spotlight.
Come on down to Dinosaur City, your one-stop shop for help with all your plots. We got dinos to cover all your needs, from arms to alarms, from intimidating to intimate.
Well, hello there. Look at you being all sexy, staring at me with those hungry eyes, like you could just eat me up.
So come on down to Dinosaur City. We can help you. To help yourself, pick the dino that's right for you. And remember, we have a special every week, and this week's special is...
There you go.
There you go.
Which is a passive tame, but its preferred kibble is the kibble with a Therizino egg that loves raw mutton, and that the Balosaurus saddle you can make when you get it to level 60.
And unlike many other huge marine animals, the Basilosaurus is not aggressive and tolerates survivors and other animals unless it is attacked. When taming, however, beware when it eats, it creates a cloud of red around its mouth, presumably blood, which will attract other animals near it, including aggressive megalodon and mantas. And we have some info from the Dino dossier.
Yeah.
Let me inject in here real quick since it relates to that. While they are not aggressive themselves, they do usually always have a pack of about
that's
7
down,
to 9 mantas that are around them.
Yeah, we have that down. We have that down the way. But, all right, Goon, how do they act when they're in the wild?
Well, it's one of the stranger creatures in the water surrounding the island. It's called the Balosaurus.
Good luck with that.
Lotium Facet.
Solatium Facet.
Fellatio Sheesits. What the hell? Oh my god.
That's all good.
Oh my goodness.
It's something like that.
It's a powerful swimmer, which is adapted to the shallows so remarkably well that it rapidly recovers from injuries when near the water surface. Conversely, it's vulnerable to deep water pressure, which slowly causes it harm. Now, the Basilosaurus is usually closely followed by other predator creatures. Its eating habits leave plenty of scraps for scavengers to consume. It's a gentle creature towards humans and happily laps up food directly from them. However, the creatures that trail the Basi tend to become dangerously enraged whenever this occurs, because it leaves no leftovers for them. Now, when it gets domesticated,
despite the hassle of engaging with its ornery followers, many tribes will still attempt to tame the Basilosaurus, as its mammalian, warm-blooded circulation provides the rider with the perfect comfort from both heat and cold. Being apprehensive in nature, the Basilosaurus is equipped with a defense mechanism that prevents it from being stunned or shocked. Alternatively, the Basilosaurus is hunted, perhaps too vigorously, for its special blubber, which can be efficiently refined into gasoline. And now we're going to hand it over to Mr. Cricket. He added some notes of his own.
Yeah, I'd added some notes, and I actually had to remove them as you guys had your notes, because I saw that I had the same things you guys did.
It's all good.
One of my big things to point out is they are a passive tame, and the feeding for them seems sort of weird. I don't know if it's like this for all the passive tames. I noticed it seems to be this way, but usually you feed them the first time, and then it takes a long time before you can feed them the second time. But then after that, it's really quickly. So if you look at, like, say, Dododex or something for the passive timer for how frequently you can feed them, it says it's like every 8 seconds, which is true to a point. It's not every 8 seconds once you start feeding them. When I tamed it, I fed it once, and then I literally had to wait around for like 10 to 15 minutes. And I was watching its food level with one of the the modded scopes that we had that showed the exact food levels. And it wasn't until he was down about 3,000 points of food before he actually took his second bite. But then after that, it was like it was every 8 seconds. I was just able to go up there and feed it more until it was tamed. And it kind of seems like that with other passive tames too, that it takes that time until the second feed, but then it's much more frequent. So it's just one of those things that, it might seem like it's not working, but you just have to wait it out.
Okay.
And the other thing is, as with all passive tames, if they get attacked, if they take damage when they're in the middle of a tame, I believe their tame bar just completely resets. So since they have that bloodbath thing, just be very careful that you don't, attract a shark or something to attack you, and it, accidentally attacks the whale and loses your complete tame.
That's good to know. And we do have some extra info. It does drop hide, oil, and raw prime meat, and the Basilosaurus blubber, and you need that for activating some of the boss fights. And Goon has a Dododex #1 user tip from dododex.com.
It's good for farming biotoxin. It's going to attack the... What is that?
You get all the good stuff today.
Cnidaria.
It's Cnidaria, yeah. No C. It's the silent C for some reason.
Cnidaria? No.
Yeah, just
you do that without
Cnidaria.
being stunned or knocked off the rider. It takes damage when it goes too deep, but once it starts surfacing, it rapidly heals.
And I did read something about them, too, that people recommended that if you're going to get in a fight with anything, try to get into a fight with it closer to the water, because, while it's surfacing, it does that heal thing instead of, getting it all bloody down below, and then it will not heal as fast if you're way down deep in the water. Have you guys found that to be true?
Yes.
Good to know.
Yes, they do take damage when they're down deep. I didn't know what was going on at first because it was shortly after they came out. But yeah, and then once you get to the near the surface, they're like Superman or something.
Yeah, that is cool. It's a cool mechanic that they have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a minor amount of damage they take when they're deep, but it's enough to prevent them from healing.
But if you can pick, that's what this one person was commenting on, so be very careful for picking fights way down deep, because it can make your situation a little sketchy. You want to kind of pick fights with things closer, mid-range, and closer to the top of the water. But also we have a Dododex tip user #2. Ignore posts they said about taming bar going down. You need to tame it using only the food you give it from the start. If you change the type of food you give it, then it resets the taming bar. Have you guys noticed that?
Ooh, that's interesting.
I never noticed that with this thing because I only tamed it using the same thing. But it makes me wonder then, because I've kind of noticed that sometimes with some other passive ones that the taming bar just wouldn't go up, and I just assumed it was some other mechanic that was going on that I didn't realize. And I wonder if it's the same type of thing now that I think about it.
Maybe. Yeah, because
I have to faux science that.
Yeah, check that out. We'll get back if you have time to do it.
Stop
and
trying
let everyone know.
You don't want to feed it 25 different things.
Exactly. Why is it taking so long? Yeah, that's why a lot of the tips on Dododex, people vote them up, so it's kind of cool. It has that little kind of a Reddit vibe to it. Because
that's really cool.
Yeah, they vote up the tips that they find the most helpful, so I try to highlight some of the more popular tips that's on dododex.com, because of stuff like this. People have the time and they do the stuff, and you wouldn't know this unless you tried it. All right, we're gonna move into Fal's admin tip. Here we go.
So regal.
I know. I was gonna say, if you didn't feel good now, Fal, you should feel really good.
Oh man, 100% better.
Your amazing intro music.
I just pulled out a broadsword when that music came on.
Oh, hail King Baloo.
All right.
Okay, so last time I spoke about what it means to be an admin, and this time I want to share a short list of admin traits. And then after this, we'll be all done with, or at least I'll be all done with it with this type of thing. We'll start moving into server setups and other little tips for admins. But so first of all, the traits that we all appreciate.
Wait. I got to say something, Phil. I really like your structuring here with the bullet points and that's really cool.
Okay, thank you.
That's a trait that he appreciates.
Maybe I'll add that. So the admin traits we all appreciate. First of all, mild-mannered. You're just easy to deal with. What makes it easier to deal with frustrated players, and you don't get involved in the server politics.
One of the most important rules about being admin: do not get involved with the server politics.
Exactly. And some of these are Yeah, I feel like I've been pretty lucky when I came to CRR. All this stuff was pretty well there. Is one of the reasons why I stuck around for as long as I have. But anyway, fairly social would be the next one. Kind of what that does is it makes you approachable. So if you're always the quiet little grumpy guy over in the corner,
right.
when people are have their issues, it'd be hard for them to come talk to you about whatever it is that they need to just a little nudge to get past something, because like we said last time, the game is a little glitchy. So, and but on the other hand, you don't want to be too generous. People need to stay busy, and they need the puzzles in the game, or they get bored. And so, going overboard can be just as bad as not doing anything. And then a quick response to the issues. Life gets in the way. Here at CR, we're almost entirely all working adults with families. So, our admins have always been really good about taking care of things right away. And then the other thing that's kind of a little bit dear to my own heart is playing through the game. And I think that's probably the only way that you're really going to understand the quirks in the game and the map and the mod loadout is to actually get in there, play through the game, die, everything, the whole 9 yards. I know it's really helped me to try to, kind of head off issues with things like gathering materials, depending on the type of mods we're running. There might be one particular material in particular that's extremely hard to get, and the way that we like to set these or for sure for me, the way I like to set the servers up is for somebody who, going back up, has a life, has a job, have things to do. You don't really have the time for grinding. So in order to be able to experience all the content, being able to head off some of these little issues like this is nice. So it might go in and do things like the current cluster I've got set up. I've got it set up so you can craft element. It might be, or like in the aberration server, crystal is a little bit hard to come by. I know the modded grinders helps out a lot now, but initially when I set these up, we didn't have that ability. So I just crystal's kind of a chance basically to drop from the gem nodes, so I just increased the amount of crystal that we would be getting and things like that. So just playing through the game, you'll know where all the pinch points and bottlenecks are. And I guess that's all I have for my admin tip this time.
Well, one thing about being an admin is if you're friends with the admin, they'll give you anything you want. They're great for that. The better friends you are with them, the better stuff you get. The high level dinos, everything.
I don't think.
And actually, if you get their
PayPal, the opposite. Yeah, I think it's the opposite of how it's supposed to go.
If you get their PayPal info and you send them some cash, you should be able to get some nice stuff.
That. There really are.
Oh, I straight up been on servers where they would post packages that you could buy.
Are you freaking kidding me?
No kidding. Huh.
No, serious.
What have I been doing wrong?
It's like, really, no kidding. I have.
Oh man.
Bills.
Yeah, I've heard of some of those. And it's one of those things like if that's how the server's set up, as long as you know that going into it, right, and know that it's kind of a pay to win.
That's the whole thing. Everybody there knows it. So
yeah, that's fine with me. If you want to play on a pay to win, you do that. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
Not sure. So, Loon, I was just gonna say. So basically,
right?
In order to be an admin, people just have to be you.
Exactly. Yeah.
As long as you're not foe.
Oh my goodness. This guy Goon, where did he come from?
Also, too, it's also good to set up a couple of friendly admins to go along with the main admin.
Yeah,
this
good
way,
point. Yeah.
It doesn't fall all on one guy's shoulders, and that will make that admin, be able to do his job better too. So.
True. Otherwise, you get kind of overwhelmed with
exactly
the
duties.
But you want to be like-minded. You don't want to. You know what? I've seen people get on servers, and I've tested out like some unofficial servers, and like they'll be like, "Oh, hey, you were one of the first people on the servers. Do you want to be an admin?" And you're like,
oh gosh.
Don't be that person. Don't be like, and I'm just like, what?
Like,
You just
okay.
hand the person you've known for 12 minutes through global chat the admin command to your. Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness. So don't be dumb. That's crazy. But I'm sure you're going to cover all this good stuff as you go. So we're going to move into tip time. Here we go. This is where we share handy tips in game. They can be anything. They could be stuff we found on the internet, Ark related. It could be alpha tips and crazy moments and tales and all that jazz. And we're going to get you started with a Cricket. He has a punching trees thing, a punching trees tip, and here's his intro.
I need that wood.
I guess I'm punching some trees.
All right, Cricket.
So if you're not familiar with the Punching Trees segment, it's new player tips. So my Punching Trees tip for this week is about bolas. You get them at level 10. They essentially allow you throw them at a dinosaur and it traps them so they cannot move for a certain period of time. Always keep at least one on you. It will save your life so many times. So we started playing this week on Primitive Plus and on Official. So we've been having to go through and spending a lot of time on foot without your fairly easy to tame dinosaurs and all that to protect you. So I had a time when I was running through and all of a sudden a saber-tooth jumps up behind me and starts attacking me. All I had to do is just pull out my bola, throw it at him, and he could now no longer move. However, in the case this week, the cat attacked me. I threw my bola at it, and Esme decided I'm going to go help him. She jumps off the cliff down at him and jumps right on his back.
It was hilarious.
So I appreciated the effort. I don't know if she got the best deal out of it, but the bola can definitely save your life. Like I said, it's a large selection of dinosaurs. Some of the ones to keep in mind that you can bola include spiders, dilos, sabers, direwolves, I guess, scorpions, raptors, terror birds, and the ever pain in the ass pego, as well as the itchy.
Right.
Although I have a pain in the ass. I have a lot of effort trying to hit the itchy with the bola, just due to its flight time and the pathing of the itchy.
Right.
The pegos are nice to be able to capture, so then you can get your stuff back that he stole from you. But also another nice thing for them is, they don't cost. They cost. Let me look at the rest real quick. It costs 15 fiber, 3 hide, 3 stone, and 10 thatch. So another thing is when you're starting off early on, it's sometimes hard to get that hide. So once you hit level 10, you can get some hide. It's real nice to kill parasaurs and pheomias, because one of the things that's usually always a pain with them is they run away, and the parasaurs are quite quick, and you have to usually track them down and all that. But just hit them with a bola, and then you can kill them, and you usually get at least 3 hide back from them, as well as more hide if you're going after hide, or meat if you're going after meat. So it's you get it early on, and it'll save your life, and it'll save you a lot of hassle when you're just trying to do stuff. So always carry at least one on.
Well, I think also when it's time to go get your first flyer or whatever, or maybe there's an opportunity before you can even make a saddle. If you got a tribe member that has a saddle or the saddle making ability, you got one, and you can trap a Pteranodon and knock it out, and it kind of helps with that too, I think.
Oh yeah,
that's
for sure.
Very true. The Pteranodon and the Pelagornis, it will.
That's my main use for that.
Yeah,
the bola is to get me my first flyer. That's my main use for it.
Also, if you're playing on a PvP server, which I don't generally do, but bola another person is coming after you and run away if you don't think you can fight them, or run to a better place to get a better tactical effect on them.
Or bola them and knock them out with a club.
Yeah, that too. So just I guess it's not related straight to the bola, but just another quick tip related to this is if you have, say, the bola on your hotbar and you use it up and you still have that kind of shadow bola on your hotbar, if you just press the same button again, if you have the materials, it will craft another one. That's true with anything you have in there. If you have the materials and you press it, it'll craft it. So you just use your bola and then you hit the button again and you'll craft the next one ready to go. So that's it for me and punching trees.
Good tips. I like that one.
Heading over to Alpha Tip, City got something for us. What do you got, dude?
Oh man, this is a tip based off of firsthand experience in Aberration. I feel that Aberration server, when you start getting deeper and deeper into the throes of this game, it really is for more advanced players. At the time that I did it, I was not ready. I didn't have my hazmat suit, which I think you need once you get into any of those radioactive areas, because you just take all this huge damage that just lingers on and eventually kills you. And so I figured that out right away. And then with some help from some of the other guys, Cricket and Balloon, they said, oh yeah, make sure you got that, and take a Ravager with you so they can fight the encounters that you have down there, because you're going to run into some. Well, I did all that, but I didn't take any of these glow bugs or these glow animals. And so I learned real quickly about the nameless. They come out of everywhere. And once they get like 10 or so, I believe it is, then the main nameless Reaper comes out, and then it's all over. You're just done. You just might as well try to collect all your stuff if you can get back down there. But anyway, if you happen to go down there, make sure you have a hazmat suit. Make sure you have a glow shoulder riding pet. The light fends off the nameless so they don't attack you, and take your Ravager so you can fight off some of the creatures that you run into, and then try to get a rock drake egg. I mean, that's the main dino on this server, I think. So that and or red crystals. You just have to have both of those if you're both of those items. The glow shoulder bugs, whatever they're called. I can't remember.
The bulb dogs.
Yeah, the bulb dogs, the glow tails, the little goats, the whatever. There's 4 or 5 of them, I think.
Not only are they
the glow tails, right? Glow tails and bulb dogs, and then the feather lights, right?
And the shine horns.
Shine horns.
Yeah.
And those are also some of the best looking shoulder pets too. I love those things. They're all super.
I agree.
And they're useful.
So my 2 things to add on to that with them, in order to make them light up or turn off their lights to gain their charge back, you either have to, if they're on the ground, you have to hold in your E key to get your radio, and then go to say pet, turn them on. However, if they're on your shoulder, if you hold in your by default T key, I think it's just the radio emote thing or something like that.
Yeah.
And you go to the about 11 o'clock position where it says play emote, and then you do the emote light. It will toggle them to turn them on or off. And you actually can even hotkey that to something if when you're holding in the T and you go into that. If you press, I don't know if it's any button. I've only hotkeyed it to my square braces, the buttons above your quotation mark. So you can hotkey that and just have to press that button instead of having to go through the radio to turn them on, which is very handy when you want to turn them on and off to save their charge or turn them off.
All right.
The last thing is when you're on a dinosaur, riding on the back of a dinosaur, if you press your reload key, which by default is R, it will toss your shoulder pad off. So just be careful if you tend to use firearms on the back of dinosaurs. If you press the reload key when you need to reload, they won't throw them off. But if you have, your gun is full and you press the reload key, it will throw them off. I've done that too many times fighting the boss.
Yep, me too.
I was just gonna say I was having flashbacks from our Guardian fight.
I haven't done. Yeah, I wasn't there, so I don't know.
You'll get there.
How dare you not be there?
I know. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I wasn't. No, wasn't there. I wanted to be, but I wasn't. So what was the flashbacks? Like what? Fill me in since I wasn't there.
Well, you're going through and unloading your weapon constantly. In that fight, it ramps up. It's kind of deceitfully easy in the beginning, and then it starts ramping up as the fight goes on. So, and sit there and, if you take I think we took Ravagers last time. You can shoot off of a Ravager, so it's kind of nice. You don't have to be unmounted. You just pull up your weapon and start firing. So, you unload it on something, you got to reload, but you've got a light pad on your shoulder. That comes in really handy as the fight progresses. So there's times when, because of the E key and the R key and everything is right there, sometimes you're throwing your pet on the floor and it's getting chomped on. Sometimes you dismount and you get chomped on.
Oh my.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
There were big air quotes around that fun.
Fun.
I love getting chomped on constantly.
Yeah.
Goodness. All right. Well, does that mean we're moving on to Goon's damn E key?
Yeah.
Here we are.
Did I do that?
Did you guys recognize that Urkel in there?
Urkel?
Yes.
Who's Urkel? I've never heard of this person.
Because we always go, did I do that? Whenever you do anything stupid in the game. All right, Goon.
In life.
Tell us all about your damn E-key moment.
Well, an aberration. I fell in love with the glider. I love the thing. It's so much fun. When you go way up high and you just jump out into the abyss and just glide around, you can see all the cool areas. Well, one day I logged in. I was doing some stuff, and you had to go get some math and stuff. So I ran and jumped off the cliff. And after I jumped, that's when I remembered that when I logged in. Well, when I logged out before, I took all my gear off, so I didn't have my glider on. And my glider was in the storage unit at the base.
Oh!
So that day, I got to put another implant in my little special death box.
Oh my goodness.
Seems to be filling up awful quick.
Oh my god.
He's like, I believe I could fly.
So I've done that a few times by switching gear back and forth between having radiation gear, scuba gear, all that. So I feel ya, but that's also why I've tried to put gliders on every single piece of gear.
Yeah, I started doing that
to
too.
have.
We were just starting out, so we didn't have that much.
Exactly.
Not enough to make one.
Yep.
I know. Stop being so greedy,
true.
everybody. You get one glider. Stop.
Yeah. Okay, one glider. Share it amongst yourselves.
So
However,
that's why they
my
always
only
disappear.
complaint about it is, since it's a skin, you can't stack the glider with other chest piece skins like the Manicore armor. That's just a little,
Ooh, that would be cool, wouldn't
A little
it?
pet peeve.
We should make a segment called the wish list.
Yeah.
Because that would be honest. Stackable skins. That's
well,
cool.
you need to work on a sound clip for next week then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Something with Santa or something like that.
Yeah.
That would be good with guns, too.
With guns. It would be like...
The only people that need stackable skins like us are the people that dial at.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I ain't scared of dying.
You mean I can wear my
I know,
birthday suit
right?
and my glider?
Exactly.
Yeah, I wonder if you could put a glider on a birthday suit.
Flying blurred out schlongs. It'll be silly.
It's like, don't fly too close.
Wait, wouldn't the birthday suit be on the pants though?
Yeah. Well, it depends if you're a girl or a boy.
Wings out,
true.
dinglings out.
Oh my
But if
gosh.
you're
Well, they're both
if
skins,
you
so.
swoop in too close to the ground, you might get a little bit of extra chafing.
Exactly.
Only if there's Conan Exiles.
I feel like that'd be a whole other thing than drawing the line in the sand.
Oh gosh. Why
Actually,
did you go
but
there?
if you swim over the water, you could go fishing at the same time. You come in low and
God! Oh my god!
So if
and you
you're
just let it drag in the
It's not
water.
how deep you swim, it's how you wiggle that worm.
Oh,
Exactly.
touch
so
the
the females, they always give you another chance. So there's two lines in the sand.
Yeah, we get a double.
We got 3 minutes left, ostensibly.
All right, got some faux science up in here. Got some faux science. I tossed your stuff, Falloon, under mine.
Okay, I see
Thank
it.
Thank you, Willektron. But look, it says you're wrong, so I don't know what to tell you. Google Docs does not like your respelling of camaraderie. So, I threw Falloons and under me, so we have 2 faux sciences for you guys. All right, some of us have banded together to do our first faux science of the season, and have set up shop on the Ragnarok Prim Plus official server. And so far, I'm reminded of the very long-ass wait times of the Primitive Plus. And I'm also reminded of the timeout errors loaded into it. SITY and I have been targeted by the Ark gods, and we must not have been very proactive or very busy in our real lives. They're like, let's give these guys some extra timeout love so they can go do stuff while they're loading into this really long-ass wait time. So, like, SITY, you said you changed your oil waiting to log into Primitive Plus.
Yeah, I went and had my oil changed.
He even had his freaking oil changed. I told him, I was like, yeah, man, I did a Bible study, I mopped my floors, and I made enchiladas all during the time I had to load into freaking Ark Primitive Plus, so.
That load time for that is brutal.
It
really is. I don't know why. They need to get on
horrible.
that.
They need to do something about that.
They can do something.
What I do is, when I'm at work,
but come on.
I call my house, I tell my son, log into Primitive Plus. By the time I get home and I take a shower, I could play.
Exactly.
I have thought about that, but it's also one of those things that it makes me want us to just stay logged in, when I can, but since this is official and, kind of get worried about some stuff about maybe, although I guess it's not PvP, so we don't have to worry about people knocking me out and dragging me. But
plus there's ORP. They have put ORP on these PvE servers now, so it's like...
Yeah, but if he's logged in, that means you're always on.
Yeah, that's true. And that explains what happened today, but we won't go there.
I was not logged in.
No, I was logged in. I mean, you logged in, but anyways, long story. But what we love about doing official together is what I'm also reminded of in our faux science is our camaraderie that we have.
Damn it.
As we build... See, I didn't even...
I tried to slip in the 64. Camaraderie 64. That would have been so good.
I'm slick, man. You can't get me, man. I rolled right over that.
You know what? Commodore 64.
You're such a snot. All right, so what we love about doing official together is the camaraderie that we have as we build as a tribe, as we work together to farm and tame and craft, and we delegate and split up engrams, and many people are like, why are you even wasting your time on official? Because we also play on unofficial Ark. And I also have to remind them that not only do we do an Ark podcast, so it's kind of nice to not live in fairy tale world all the time. Like, you can't pretend you know what you're talking about if you're not, staying up on stuff, and also trying out different aspects of the game, because the game has been out for a long time now. There's a lot of different maps, a lot of different mods, a lot of different types of servers they have now, at least for PC. They have all the different, like, no tames and no flyers and no this, and, they have all those. So it's nice to hop in as a group and do a little faux science together. So in our hiatus, I'm glad upon our return that we get to band together and work as a team, and it's been a lot of fun. So, also, it reminds us to stay mindful of what the base game is really like without all the bells and whistles that we're spoiled with. Because, like, Cricket and I said we were agreeing that one thing that we really pull away from this experience is being reminded of how things are really done, and not the fairy tale versions like mating dinos. Because remember, Cricket, you're like, yeah, we just hook them up to the hitching post and put them on wander and let them do their thing.
And S+ doors.
Yes. Yeah, Cricket is having a hell of a time getting used to the non-S+ doors.
Running into doors constantly.
He's like waiting for it to open, and it's just never opening on its own.
It's just a good thing I wear a helmet.
I can just imagine if we were like in the game, just transferring from our servers to official, and we're just literally running into doors.
Exactly.
All the time.
It happens.
It really, yes.
I'm just glad I have a helmet.
Yep.
You're the only one, man, because the rest of us run around naked or in cloth at this point.
I don't know. I picked up the leather armor that someone left in the smithy and put it on.
There you go.
So.
Leather.
It's not going to get damaged because you log in and he's always ready to pass out by the end of the night. He hops in, hangs out, does some stuff, and he's like, guys, I'm really sleepy.
I'm sorry.
He comes in, he puts like 5 logs in a box, and he's like, guys,
Yep, pretty much. That's what happened last night.
Hey, that's during the week, though, you know.
By the way,
We
do
can't
whatever
give
you
him
want
a
with
break.
these 5 logs. Like, just,
Yeah.
you guys need, do whatever you want with
Hey,
these
5
things.
logs goes a long way unofficial. All I've got to say, you can repair your hatchet with 1 log. So, I mean, he's putting in his time. I mean, it's working. I ain't going to complain.
I've been making a bunch of arrows tonight.
Yeah, we just like having you there. That's what it matters. You know, having us do this as a team. It's been a lot of fun.
I've had a lot of fun actually doing it once I jumped in and finally was like,
Once
okay.
you made it in, right?
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And then Cricket, today in Discord, you kind of like, I noticed you put 8,000 berries, right, with the mating of the dinos. Like, what was that?
That's how. So I was looking up. I forgot how hard it is to raise babies with official rates,
Right.
because we're so used to 10, 15, 20 times maturation rates. I was one of the things that I was doing with on our cluster server in order to get stuff like easily attainable hide and organic polymer and stuff like that is just keeping a corral of Kairukus or Ovises and then just creating new ones and killing them. Well, I was thinking, that would be nice for us to do here, so we can get organic polymer for ghillie suits and the hide, on demand or mutton on demand. But I was looking it up, and to raise a single Ovis, it takes I think it's 2 days, or it's a day and something, and
Welcome to
8,000
official, my
berries.
friend.
And for a penguin, it takes 1 day, 5 hours, something like that, and 800.
And then you're just going to kill it, right?
Well, so that's why I was like,
it's
maybe that might not be the
Maybe
best
they
thing.
need to fix that. If it's a dinosaur that you're going to end up killing, like, I mean, really?
However, the penguins, it might be worth it because killing baby penguins, as nasty as it sounds, is actually the best way to get organic polymer and prime meat. Because the babies
Just go to the point on the map where they are and club them on the head.
Club them,
yeah,
right?
but it means we have we don't have a flyer yet. Well,
we
sort
did,
of have a flyer.
but-
I guarantee you walking there on foot will be easier than raising them.
You just got to put goon
It's
on
one
it.
of those things
Goon
that
can
once
raise thousands
you get a
of
corral
penguins.
going, it's not that hard because then you can just sit there and get a bunch of eggs and make a bunch of babies and then just get them on demand without having to do it.
And hand feed all of them.
So
Hey, if you have time.
well, that's
man.
what I was saying. It might work with the penguins because
Yeah,
you
2
don't
days.
have to actually raise the penguins. You can kill them as babies if you're just getting organic polymer and prime, because baby penguins are better than adult
Exactly.
penguins.
So you just hatch them and club them. You're messed
Yes.
up, man.
You
The
just saw
first thing
Hornets.
they see coming out of their shell is a club smashing them in the face.
Yes.
Real nice.
You just saw
I am
Hornets.
function versus form. Sorry.
All right. So, yeah, that was the
For
thing.
all
So
the children listening, that doesn't really happen.
no, that's not how it exactly.
It does happen in Cricket's house.
So,
Cricket's House of Horror. That's what I'm going to call his base.
That's why I only have 2 kids that lived. You should edit that out.
Well then.
I just don't know because Willektron said so I was waiting. So, because there's never any silence if I'm allowed to talk. So, I was letting Willektron talk.
I was just
I'm sorry,
laughing
I
at
feel
the
like
awkwardness that just happened just now.
See, just like that. I feel like I talk over people all the time. I don't get it.
No, you do
Oh.
constantly. It's annoying.
No, you. Anyways, so I'm reminded by this experience that we were playing together, and playing the game as it was most likely meant to be played, and that is as a tribe. It is fun for us to rally the troops and adventure together, and all that jazz. But sometimes when we play in our comfy little unofficials, we also tend to get like isolated because we don't need anybody else and we're not forced to work together. And so it's like, it's nice keeping one foot in our unofficial world and one foot in official, because it's almost like unless you live like Goon and I, and we share like a base together, and then Luminen comes to join us, and then like we work on projects, and if we're on at the same time, we play together, and if we're not, we don't. Or if I'm watching something on Netflix and Goon will run up and we'll talk, and then he'll run away and I'll run away. But like on official, you really rely on each other. And like we were picking on Luminen last night because your Cricket is like stressing over his engrams. He's planning out, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'll save this for someone else. I'm not spending anything. So I have like over 100 of engrams that I'm banking in case we need something in the future. And then our little Luminid, he's like, he's just spending those suckers willy-nilly. He's like, I'm going to knock Esme out and suck her blood out, but I guess I need to learn the engram for the blood syringe. And then he learns it.
For the very useful blood bag.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm gonna tell Papa Cricket, you're wasting your engrams.
I have never tried to tell anybody what they should spend them on.
He's like, know what I need? Magnifying glass and blood bag.
Yeah, but it was funny because we all know, like, Cricket, you've never told us that, but as a group,
note paper.
As a group, you have like this little, like Lumina said, I know, I thought about it. Those guys are saving their engrams for purposeful, something great. And then here I am just going to spend my engrams to suck the blood out of their unconscious bodies.
I mean, I will share what I'm grabbing and what I'm not grabbing.
Yes.
So that people know that, if we want to make something that they will need to grab it and I won't.
Absolutely.
But I'm not trying to tell anybody how to play.
You do good. You're doing fine.
And that's especially true when it comes to saddles, because you never have enough engrams for all the saddles.
True. Which is where global chat comes in hand. But this is this is why we faux science to keep in the real world, like a little foot in the real world, and we have. We know what people unofficial are having to go through to do this stuff. So and also we tend to miss out on the stuff that we love to see in the Ark cinematics, because like I was trying to show Mossy last night, he was going to download the Primitive Plus, and then I got caught up watching the Ark Primitive Plus cinematic, and we've talked about that, like it's that like yummy cinematic where it shows all the tribe members and they're all like kumbayaing in their tribe,
and they never talk. And every once in a while, you're like, ugh.
I know you do. You're like, talk like, oh my god, we should make a mock trailer. Oh my god, we should make a mock trailer. Do it, write it down. It's happening. So like, but it's all those things, and like, when Falloon, he made his Ewok village that we've not got to go and hang out in yet, and it's like official forces you to pretty much live the cinematic life. You have these taming trade-offs where you get a dino down and you can pass it on to your tribe mate to finish the job. If you're having a lot, like if you're cruising, passing ships, like Lumina today, I got a Brano down, put some stuff in it, I put it here, okay, and then he goes, and then helping each other gather resources for projects, sending tribe mates back to fetch stuff you need, all the shenanigans that happen when you leave your base to go do a goal, and then you remember you forget something, so you have to tell someone, hey, can you bring me this? And then that is an entirely different adventure that happens.
Or like, Cricket gets stuck in Viking Bay.
Yeah, Cricket gets stuck in Viking Base, and we're all in TeamSpeak, and we're all at the base building stuff, and we get all these updates where Cricket always just ends up building a boat and floating his way back home. So
I will have an armada.
Wait, how many times did this happen? Because I was there for the first time.
Now it's 3. We have 3 boats. Jack-Wagon, Whack-Jaggin'.
We have 3 boats. 2 of them were to make my way home.
Yeah.
The second one was last night. I was going off in search of chitin. I was trying to find some scorpions because we had just tamed our first pteranodon. Because we the garden finally provided enough crops to be able to make the kibble for it, and I had just hit level 35 shortly before that, so we could now make a saddle. But it requires 75 chitin or keratin. So I was like, well, the best way to get chitin will probably be scorpions. So I was like, well, where are some scorpions? Esme's like, oh, there's scorpions over in this area over here. So she directs me in a way to go. So I start going over that way. I don't see any scorpions. I keep going in that direction.
On full server, they're there, but on they're not.
I keep going in that direction, searching for scorpions, keep going and going. I end up getting all the way down there by the swamps and by the canyon. And I was like, well, that was a very long walk, and I don't want to walk it all back. So I've found, as long as I'm near the shore, the best, and as long as I carry enough hide with me or kill something to get the hide, I would just go and find the nearest trees, beat down, get some fiber, because I usually carry a sickle on me, get the fiber, and then beat the trees to get wood and make a boat to come home.
Right.
However, because of the amount of wood that it takes to make a boat, I usually can't move after while I'm trying to collect that wood. So I have to kind of do a skip and jump of get some wood, toss 100 on the ground, move forward, pick it up, toss it on the ground, move forward to the next tree until I can get the 250 wood that it takes.
Right.
And then I have
just
to
put a couple of points in weight. Jesus.
I have 200 points in weight.
We're not max level, remember, foe?
And then I have to hope that the 85-pound boat doesn't overweigh me, or I have to do the same thing and drop it on the ground and move forward until I can get to the water to drop it in.
We're getting a play-by-play. The whole. So you have me. I'm out getting stuff. Willektron's in there. Luminan's in there. Like we're all like passing ships so far on the server, and you get like all these updates, and we'd hear like Cricket chime in and be like, well, I'm doing this, or I'm here now, and it's funny.
So 35% of Cricket's time has been throwing wood from one tree to the next.
And picking it back up and building. So he did come up with really cool names, though. The names for our boats.
So the first boat was in Esme's honor, and it's the Whackjagon.
The Whackjagon.
The second boat was my savior to get me out of Viking Bay, so it is Croesus Geist.
Croesus Geist.
And the most recent one, since it was caused by my adventure to get scorpions, is the Scorpion Spain.
Yes, it's been funny. So this is what, like day 2? Is this our third day on the server?
This
is our second day?
This is day 3.
This is day 3. So we've been on the server 3 days, and it started with just Cricket and I hopping in, and then like our neighbor being like, "Hey, how many people are going to be in your tribe?" Just Cricket and I, maybe another friend. And then all of a sudden the next day, there's like 6 of us.
We are now up to 7 in the tribe.
We're like freaking cockroaches. Like we're like, it's just gonna be me and Cricket. And then like the next day, it's like 6 of us, and we have like the whole place. We have like boats down in the bay. We have our base up top. We have our eyes on this demolishable base in a section. Like we come in at like a disease. Like we're like, it is so crazy. But we're also polite. We're a very friendly disease. Yeah.
Well, at least at first we try to be.
Yeah, at least at first, yeah. So it's been a lot of fun. And I still think that they're honestly, listening to some of the stats that like Cricket was putting out, my where I'm at right now in Info Sciences, I still think that there needs to be a gap tightening through, so like on the times of stuff that's like the mating and all that jazz. We get that the kibble is a great option for teams to kind of be like, if you're going to just throw berries in, it's going to take a long time. But if you go through and do the work and make your gardens and do your kibble, then we'll make it worth your while, and it could speed up the tames. But I think there definitely needs to be some more work done on the times with like the mating and the breeding and all that stuff. I think that needs to be fixed more. So my on my wish list is I really hope that after they like do all this Dino TLC stuff, they go back in and do like the quality of life TLC stuff that's just not realistic whatsoever. Because 2 days for a freaking sheep, and then you're just gonna whack it. I mean, it was like, come on, let's.
So I think the thing with the breeding is, for one, yeah, it isn't worth it. The time is really bad, but you usually don't breed one at a time. It's not too bad if you're, it takes the same amount of time if you're breeding 5, you're breeding 10 at the same time.
Yeah, that's what they recommend.
You have to have more, more food on hand and available.
Yeah.
But you can do it all at the same time.
Mechanics-wise, though, there should be something like a kibble version. You know what I mean? Like we have kibble for taming. There should be something that you can work towards like that to kind of, in my opinion, there needs to be a gap.
Well, you speak on kibble. I can bring this into a Dino Sutra. I'll have to.
We'll save it for that.
But yeah,
we
I'll
are running short on time.
Think about it.
Yeah, save it for next week because I'm going to hand the baton over to Mr. Falloon. He has been MIA out of PC World because he has been surfing in Ark on PS4. It came in yesterday, right?
Yeah, I doing a little bow science of my own. I thought I would see what it's like being a PC player going to a console, and I chose Sony's PlayStation 4. So the weird thing, although my first video game I ever played was on console, which was in the early 70s, and I purchased them through the years for my kids. I'm a total noob when it comes to console stuff. And I know when I got it, I was trying to get it set up, and how do I get Ark downloaded? How do I do this? How do I do that? Everybody was pretty helpful to to get me going. And I get in there on Yogi's server, and he's got Ragnarok up. And I'm like, okay, so what does this button do? What does that button do?
It's hard, man. Playing Ark on a controller is like pulling teeth almost.
Oh my god, it was. I don't
all
know
the
how
wheels,
many times.
man. I can't deal with the wheels.
I go to
a little
open
better
it.
as you use it, but yeah, it's a lot rougher.
Yeah, I open my inventory, and then you got to kind of navigate to the button to get to the crafting. There are probably shortcuts. I don't know. That's something that I need to figure out. But I brought up I went to Google. I'm like, okay, what's controls for Ark and PS4? And so I'm trying to remember them. I don't know where all the buttons are yet. I open up my inventory and close it. I don't know how many times I've opened my inventory and closed it. Just to, I want to open my inventory, go up to the crafting tab, or hit something, the X to craft, and I hit the O to close my inventory. It's been an adventure. But my basic reason why I wanted to do it was I wanted to see what Ark was like on another platform. I've heard a lot about it, but one of the things we didn't do, or haven't really heard from anybody, was what it was like to go from PC to console. So
True.
Anyway, I thought I'd do it. And also, the other kind of a reason why I wanted to go to console is because, if I actually get used to playing on the darn thing, there's games that come out and hit console before they hit PC, just like, the other direction where they'll hit PC before they hit console. So, I when Monster Hunter World came out, I know it's an Ark podcast, but that was kind of one of the other driving factors for me to get into console. That came out, and I really wanted to try it. And it's a PC version supposed to be coming out. I haven't checked on it lately to see where they're at with that. I think it's probably out of ways yet. But anyway, I seen a tweet today from. I thought I put a link in there, but I think one of the off of the PlayStation 4 tweet, and turns out it's a list of the games that were most downloaded, not necessarily most grossing, but the most downloaded. Monster Hunter World is topping the charts still, so for
cool.
second time in a row or something like that.
The game is really good. It's really good.
Yeah. So I can't wait to try it, but I'm an Ark guy, and I'm still on Yogi's server. I just got started yesterday.
Awesome.
I want to make a good go of it, and see what it's like. So really excited for that.
While you're doing that, I'm on the regular server, just building, opening up my menus with a mouse, just clicking on things I want to do.
By regular, he means your server fell.
Exactly. I'm holding it down over here while you're struggling with the wheel system. I'm gonna be over here just taming dinos.
That's why you needed to take a nap. It's freaking console sucking the life out of you, right?
No kidding.
Good lord. It's like, what? It's all this extra brain work you gotta do,
Oh my god, it's horrible.
And it's on what is his settings? What is Yogi's settings?
I think he's got everything set 10 times all.
Okay,
but,
that's cool.
So it's not really like official, but they don't have access to mods. So
right.
that's the other thing, So maybe
So
that's why
kinda,
I take a nap, because no mods.
Right. It's where we are right now with Primitive Plus. Not only do we not have, technology, but we also don't have mods. So
one thing I will say about playing on console that has gotten better from when I played on it is you can find servers that are 10 times, 15 times, 20 times. When I was playing it in some of the earlier versions of the console, the max you could have was actually 6 times. There was sliders that they had. You couldn't input the stuff into it. You couldn't change the maturation time. So I was dealing with official, taming or breeding rates and all that during it. And at least now the sliders are out there. It took some time for them to get onto the consoles, since you couldn't just go in there and modify your I&I file like you can on a hosted server, or if you have a Nitrato server, and you can go in there and use their certain tools to modify the files and all that. But it has gotten better than it was because you can find those servers that have the higher rates.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think it's not so easy though for console people to host a server. Like, I don't think they have to pay for anything, but it's like you have to freaking babysit that all the time. It's not so fluid like, you know, like now, like Nitrado has an app and you can do some stuff from mobile restart and all that stuff.
So the other way that you can host a server is have a second, well, at least for Xbox, have a second Xbox that actually hosts the server.
Well, like when an update comes through, you have to manually reset it, right?
Yes.
Like, yeah, that's the thing. You have to be at home, or, you know, like, so people are waiting. Like, if you're at work and you don't get out, and like Yogi, so he's West Coast time, we're East Coast, and Falloon and City, they're that weird, like, mountain time. Yeah. Mountain time, you know. So it's like with everything.
I call it lumberjack time.
Lumberjack time.
It's the unforgotten time zone.
The forgotten time zone.
Nobody lives in mountain time, though.
No, nobody.
Yeah, I can talk more on a future podcast with the experiences that I had with the console stuff and hosting, because
absolutely
I've had kind of experiences through through proxy through my son with some of the stuff, because a lot of his friends they didn't have the higher end PCs, but they had Xboxes, and you only need an Xbox to play it. You don't need a high end Xbox to play it because there is no such thing. And so him and his friends would play it frequently, and so that's part of the reason why I have a second Xbox and a second copy of Ark and Aberration and Scorched Earth on the Xbox is for him and his friends to play. So I can talk about some of this stuff on a future ep.
Sounds good.
Nice dad.
Yes, absolutely. All right, I think that means we're moving in to Willektron's favorite intro. It's Last Call. And I can't. Oh, here it is.
It's closing time. Pack up all those dinos and head out into the
It's not there.
It's closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can stay here. I don't want to have too long right now. I don't want you to have too long right now, but it's closing time. The rated R is ready to pull the plug.
Okay, so, I will be honest.
Okay, what?
The first time I heard this, I couldn't stand it because the way you modulated your voice, it was in the wrong key.
Hey, it's okay, because that's Bobber did it. It wasn't me.
No, but what I'm saying, actually, that was Midnight Lady, wasn't it?
Midnight Lady. Oh, see, I'm wrong. I got the wrong info. It must be. Anyway. I think Bobbert's dating Midnight Lady, and that's how we got the intro for Midnight Lady.
But basically, credit to you because it's grown on me.
Yeah, it groans on me too.
It groans on you.
Oh, groan. All right, well.
Oh, none. Bobber, Midnight Lady, and I have never, ever claimed to be a professional in any right. So, yeah, it's part of their
professional
charm,
goofballs.
Exactly. Yeah, so, hey. I started to add everybody's Twitter handles. Remove them if you don't want them there. I can't find... Oh, I was going to add cities. So, if you don't want yours there, take it away. If you want yours there, I think I was on my way to add cities, and then I won't if you don't want me to. So, just let me know.
No, that's fine. Go ahead.
All right, let's call... City has some food for thought for us. Feed it to us.
Yeah, I would just, when you're waiting to get logged in and you're kind of daydreaming of shit, I'm thinking if Ark is ever going to, put all the maps together in one game so you can go from lands to land, so to speak, or teleport or fly through a space tunnel or beam to whatever. And I guess kind of, now that I'm thinking about it here, daydreaming now, Ragnarok's kind of got everything in it except for Aberration. So if they could just put a tunnel in, boom, we'll be set. We'll be good to go.
There you go. Yeah, at first I read it, was like, well, we have the CrossArk stuff, but that takes time, right? So you would literally like them all to be on one map. That's what you're saying, right? Let's sew them all together with a tunnel that you can crawl through to get to Aberration and get rid of all this obelisk crap, right? Is that what you would like?
Yeah. I mean, I remember being on the center and flying around on the center, and you look way out in the distance, and you can see some land that you can't ever get to. And I always thought in the back of my head, well, that's where the island is, and they're going to connect it, And then you look over this way, and that's where scorched earth is over there, and they're going to connect that and everything. But they didn't do that yet.
That would be cool, and it makes you wonder if they would save money on servers if they just threw them all together. And then if you don't want to go to Scorched Earth, then don't build over there, that would be cool. I wonder if a mod, I'm going to be like on Jamie all of a sudden, and be like, maybe a mod should make this. Maybe a mod should make an entire huge map of all of our already existent maps.
Kind of like Ragnarok.
I think you're onto something. Yeah, Ragnarok, honestly, has jumped to my most favorite map. Because, like you said, it has a little bit of everything.
Yep, I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's cool. I dig it. All right, so my last call was just, hey, come and join us in the games we play at crossfromrebellion.com, and I was including all of our Twitter accounts in there this time, so that's what I was doing. Does anybody else have anything they want to add, or you can say it now, or wait a week?
Nope, I'm good. See you guys.
I think I've had my fair share of being noisy.
Bye. Bye, City.
Adios, amigo.
Just on cue, Bales. Peace out.
At least he said goodbye this time.
I know, right? He's getting soft. We're softening him up. This is 2 weeks in a row. I'm impressed. All right.
Okay, now I can turn my push to talk back off.
Do you think we have an outro? No, I have to play an outro, and I never can find it because my soundboard's a big steaming pile of chaos. Oh, oh no, that's not it. Got it. Here.
You can reach the show by email at ratedark@gmail.com. You can tweet the show at ratedark on Twitter. You can grab our RSS feed, get our show notes, and apply to join us in-game at ratedark.podbean.com.
Done.
And that's a wrap.
And that's a wrap.